The Bloodline's Paul Heyman has broken his silence after his emotional moment with CM Punk on WWE SmackDown. The two stars have worked together in the past, and the wise men asked the veteran for some help this past Friday night. Paul Heyman interrupted the former AEW star during his promo during the opening segment of SmackDown. He asked Punk to exit the ring because the Bloodline was coming after him, and then asked the 45-year-old if he could go with him as well. Solo Sikoa has reacted to Heyman seemingly wanting to exit the Bloodline and said no earlier today on social media. The Hall of Famer recently broke his silence following his segment with Punk on SmackDown and shared the moment on his Instagram story today. You can check out his post by clicking here. Punk was later attacked by Drew McIntyre on SmackDown. The Scottish Warrior claimed he quit the company last Monday night on Raw after CM Punk cost him his chance to win the World Heavyweight Championship at WWE Clash at the Castle. WWE Hall of Famer reacts to CM Punk costing Drew McIntyre at Clash at the Castle. Wrestling legend Teddy Long has shared his thoughts on CM Punk dressing up as a referee and costing Drew McIntyre at Clash at the Castle. Speaking on Sportskeeda's The Wrestling Time Machine show, Teddy Long commented on CM Punk acting like a heel at the Premium Live event in Scotland last weekend. Long said that Punk acting like a heel didn't mean anything and fans have already decided who they are rooting for. It don't mean nothing, it's all about the win. I keep telling you, there is no heel or babyface no more. It's none of that. They got people that they dislike, and they got people that they like. But if I am talking about a strong heat, we don't have none of that right now. But we are gonna get it if they keep going in this direction, but this is entertainment. From 6 o'clock onwards, Punk has been out with a torn triceps since the men's Royal Rumble match in January, but has kept his rivalry with Drew McIntyre alive as he recovers. It will be fascinating to see how the Chicago native responds to McIntyre's attack in the weeks ahead. Paul Heyman, the legendary wrestling promoter and advocate, known for his sharp tongue and keen sense of drama, has finally broken his silence following an emotional encounter with CM Punk. The moment occurred backstage at a recent wrestling event, a poignant reunion between two of wrestling's most iconic figures. Heyman's words, as always, were laden with depth, history, and a touch of his signature bravado. The meeting that shook the wrestling world. It was a typical chaotic night in the world of professional wrestling. The backstage area buzzed with the hum of anticipation, the electric energy of the night's matches, and the underlying tension that always accompanies live events. Amidst this whirlwind, an unexpected and emotional moment unfolded between Paul Heyman and CM Punk. Their paths crossed in a quiet corner backstage, away from the prying eyes of fans and the cameras that relentlessly document every move. Punk, who had been away from the wrestling spotlight for years, was a surprise presence. The two men, who once shared a bond that seemed unbreakable, stood face to face, the weight of their shared history pressing down on them. Heyman speaks out a few days later. In an exclusive interview with Wrestling Illustrated, Paul Heyman finally opened up about the encounter. The usually confident and outspoken Heyman showed a side that fans rarely see, reflective, introspective, and undeniably human. Seeing Punk again after all these years, it was something, Heyman began, his voice uncharacteristically soft. We've been through so much together, both professionally and personally. There's a lot of history there, a lot of memories, and yes, a lot of emotions. Heyman paused, seemingly choosing his next words with care. In this business, it's rare to find someone who truly understands you, someone who sees the business the way you do. For me, that person was always Punk. We shared a vision, a drive to push boundaries and tell stories that mattered. A bond forged in fire. The history between Paul Heyman and CM Punk is storied and complex. Their partnership in WWE was a match made in wrestling heaven. Punk, the rebellious and outspoken superstar, and Heyman, the mastermind behind some of wrestling's most compelling storylines, were a perfect pair. Together, they created moments that are etched in the annals of wrestling history, from Punk's infamous pipe bomb promo to his record-breaking championship reign. Punk was more than just a client, Heyman continued. He was a friend, a confidant, and at times, a mentor. We challenged each other, pushed each other to be better. Our time together was something special, something rare. The emotional reunion, the reunion was brief, but it was enough to stir a whirlwind of emotions in both men. Heyman described the encounter with a mix of nostalgia and regret. When I saw him, it was like no time had passed at all. We just fell into conversation, like we used to. But there was an underlying sadness too. We both knew that things had changed, that we couldn't just go back to the way things were. Heyman's voice wavered slightly as he recounted the moment. We talked about the good times, the moments that defined our careers. But we also talked about the fallout, the misunderstandings, the reasons we went our separate ways. It was cathartic, in a way. I think we both needed that closure. Reflections on the past, hopes for the future. The interview took a reflective turn as Heyman delved deeper into his feelings about the past and his hopes for the future. Looking back, there are things I wish I had done differently. Choices I made, words I said, or didn't say. But hindsight is always 20/20. What matters now is that we had that moment, that chance to reconnect, even if just for a short while. When asked about the possibility of working with Punk again, Heyman's eyes lit up with a familiar spark. In this business, you can never say never. Punk is one of the greatest talents I've ever had the privilege of working with. If the stars aligned, if the timing was right, I'd welcome the opportunity to create magic with him again. The legacy of Heyman and Punk. Paul Heyman and CM Punk's legacy in professional wrestling is undeniable. Together, they redefined what it meant to be a superstar and an advocate. Their partnership was a masterclass in storytelling, a testament to what happens when passion, talent, and vision collide. As Heyman wrapped up the interview, he left fans with a tantalizing hint of what could be. The wrestling world is always evolving, always changing. Who knows what the future holds? All I know is that Punk and I still have stories to tell, whether together or apart. The best is yet to come. Conclusion: the wrestling world is abuzz with speculation and excitement following Paul Heyman's candid and heartfelt interview. The emotional reunion between Heyman and CM Punk has reignited the hope that these two titans of wrestling might once again join forces to create unforgettable moments. For now, fans can only dream and speculate, eagerly awaiting what the future holds for Paul Heyman and CM Punk. Their story, full of twists and turns, triumphs and tribulations, is far from over. And in the world of professional wrestling, where reality often blurs with fiction, anything is possible. Paul Heyman's silence has been broken, and with it, a new chapter in the saga of Heyman and Punk has begun. The wrestling world waits with bated breath, ready for whatever comes next.